weather.com.
A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. We're having ourselves a pretty good day right now. Plenty of sun after a cloudy start to the day. Look rather ominous. The further west you got, the better chance of seeing some precipitation. And that's exactly what happened. But right now, things have really turned around. The sun came out and temperatures beginning to rev up a little bit. Currently, we are at 69 degrees at the airport, 69 here at Radio Center. Downtown Midland is over the 70-degree mark. Downtown Bay City looking at 69 as well. As far as our wind direction, all that sorts of thing, we're really not looking for much in the way of wind. Nothing like what we saw over the weekend. But we did need that wind to kind of dry things down just a little bit so folks could get some work done outside. And many of you had the opportunity to take in some agritainment over the weekend, going to a lot of our farms, pumpkin farms, corn mazes. It was just a very nice weekend. South-southeast breeze right now, gusting up to 13 miles per hour. 43% is our humidity. And it looks as though we're not going to see much of an increase in that humidity as we go through the remainder of the day today. If there is going to be a chance of any precipitation, it looks to me right now as though the best chance is going to be late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, and it'll spill over into the day on Wednesday, along with that cold front that eventually is going to move through late on Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. Temperatures will be dropping about 10 degrees from where we will be tomorrow and about 15 degrees cooler than where we will be today. We're projecting a high of 76, and it looks as though this not only is going to be the warmest day of the week, but it might be a few weeks before we see temperatures once again in the 70s. Because if we do move into the 70s, it is going to be much above normal. We should be 57 at this time of the year. So what we've done literally is we've changed the numbers around. Instead of 57, we're projecting a high of at least 75. And I think it will be a little bit warmer than that. Clouds around, but a lot more in the way of sun than the clouds. And that's what's going to generate those warmer temperatures. There was a chance, as I said, of some precipitation earlier this morning. The best chance seemed to be over on the far west side of the state. All that activity moved in a northeasterly direction, so it really didn't affect the weather in the Great Lakes Bay area, more so along the west side and in northern Michigan. Going through the evening hours tonight, we are going to see an increase in the clouds. And along with that is going to come a retaining of the very warm temperatures. We will be warmer than our projected high temperature, average high temperature, because we're only going to drop down to about 60 degrees as those clouds move in. We'll have a little bit of a breeze, but not much, out of the south, right around 12 to 15 miles per hour. And during the day tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. We will have glimpses of sun as we go through the day, and the best chance of seeing any shower activity will be late in the afternoon or the early evening as the clouds will thicken. And the low pressure system, which is currently over north of the Dakotas, will be moving eastward and northeastward. And that eventually is going to pull that cold front through, as we mentioned just a minute or two ago. We're looking for a low tomorrow night of about 52, 53 degrees. And then again, that chance of showers will increase rather dramatically and continue into the day on Wednesday. Wednesday's high will be right around 60, 62 degrees, passing shower activity as we go through the day on Wednesday. The wind direction will be changing. Instead of seeing south and southwest breezes like we will today and tomorrow, on Wednesday it'll be a little bit more northwesterly, and we will have gusts up to about 20 miles per hour. So Wednesday more than likely will be the worst day of the week when it comes to weather, being outside, not so much temperature-wise as it is going to be wind direction coming out of the northwest and a pretty good chance of on-again, off-again shower activity. But Everything will clear out as we move into Wednesday night. Along with that is going to come a drop in our temperatures. We should be on average about 39. We're going to drop down to 34 for a low on Wednesday night. Thursday, partly cloudy skies, 52 for a high. Upper 30s for a low on Thursday night. We'll see an increase in the clouds, but nothing much right now. If anything, a precipitation. Same thing holds true on Friday. More of a cloud than sun mix, but we'll still see a glimpse of some sun on Friday. 55, 56 degrees for a high on Friday, 38 for a low on Friday night. Then on Saturday, mostly sunny. We'll approach 60. We'll have 40 for a low on Saturday night. Then as we move into the day on Sunday, another system is going to be approaching. So we'll have an increase in the clouds as we go through the day and a little bit better chance of seeing some shower activity later in the day on Sunday and Sunday night with that temperature right around 58. As we alluded to it, the normal high for this time of the year is 57, normal low 39, record high in this state 81, set back in 1963. The record low 21, set in 1981. A year ago today, we picked up just barely a trace of precipitation. Our high was 52. And our low was 32. Sun will set this evening at 6:39, rise tomorrow morning at 8:03. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. When we return, Gary Kaufman will be joining us from Star of the West. But before we do all that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Don Morris Seeds. The demand for nitrogen has never been higher, and fortunately, Pivot Bio has transformed the way fertilizer is produced and used by farmers. Unlike synthetic nitrogen fertilizers, the cost of Pivot Bio Proven 40 is every bit as consistent as its performance. And since it's applied in furrow at planting, it's weatherproof. Pivot Bio Proven 40, the only predictable weatherproof nitrogen around. Turn to a better nitrogen with Pivot Bio. For more information, just get a hold of Don Morris at 989-239-2791 or Allie Morris, 989-780-3770. Along with me, Gary Kaufman at Star of the West in Frankenmuth. Gary, you had a good weekend?
Good morning, Jerry. Yes, definitely so. Yeah, it was. You could have done about anything you wanted to on your calendar for sure.
Yeah, I think it seemed to work out pretty good for a lot of people. You could tell by the pharmacies selling all the liniment and back oil.
Yep,
man.
Anything it was all going. That's for sure.
No holds barred, including farming. Boy, I saw a lot of soybeans come off.
Yep, soybeans, for the most part, soybeans probably got finished up here over the weekend. You might see a field here or there, Terry, but definitely harvest progressed very rapidly over the weekend, not only in our backyards, but across the country.
So right now at this stage of the game, what are we looking at as far as the market goes to start the week?
Well, we got a lot of red on the board, Terry, to start the week, and it's been down pretty much all morning here. Currently, we have cash wheat down 16 right now. Up it's the white at 795 and the red at 745. New crop for next year, Terry, is down 14 at 844 on the white, 794 on the red. Cash and current crop corn down a nickel at 624. We look out a year for 23 crop, down 4 at 566. Cash and current crop soybeans down 18 at 1312. New crop for next year down 13 at 1283.
So this is the last full trading week for the month of October, and then we roll into November already.
Yeah, it's as we always say, it goes pretty darn fast for sure. So, but yep, and November, we'll have a supply and demand report from USDA. But other than that, I think right now the trade is kind of looking at certain things. We're going to watch South America. We're going to watch Australia. On their wheat front, and as far as Brazil and how they're going to start getting into progressing in their crop as well. That'll move the markets, and of course, any news out of Black Sea region will move the wheat as it has been for the last umpteen months. So.
Yep, we'll have to keep our eye on that. You have a good day, a great week. We'll talk to you later. All right.
Sounds good, Terry. You as well.
All righty. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Oppenheimer, we go with Doug Klein. The market report brought to you by Thumb Bank, serving the needs of agriculture for well over 125 years. They've got 2 locations in Bay City. Also, Cassidy, Caseville, Pigeon, Bad Axe, and Marlette. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. And by Schaefer and Beerline. If you're ready to upgrade to a new Ram truck or vehicle for your family farm, now is the time to order your new Ram 1525 or 3500. So visit Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, the Great Lakes Bay Area's certified ag dealer. Ordering now is the way to go, and you can buy with confidence. From Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth since 1852, where family and service sells cars. Morning, Doug.
Good morning.
I hope you had a good weekend.
Fired up the snowmobiles this weekend.
Well, I'll tell you, you're asking for it.
That amongst about six other jobs that were not as fun. So.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. What's going on in Chicago right now?
Well, it's pretty negative in Chicago. Positive on the New York Stock Exchange. China Xi just hammered his stock market overnight, down about 15%. He said the billionaires were out of control, as we know, as I've said about 1 billion times. So, between Putin hammering his billionaires and Biden hammering his rich people and all that, the rich people have taken it on the chin for a few months, or actually even years now. So getting kind of ugly out there. But here's your numbers. The December corn, 6.80 and a quarter, down 4 cents. The September of 23 corn, 6.33 and a quarter, down 3 3/4. November soybeans, 13.80, down 15 and a half. The March of 23 soybeans, 13.95 and a half, down 16 and a quarter. And then November of 23 soybeans, 13.51, down 10 cents. December wheat is 8.36 and a half, down 14 and a half. And July of 23 wheat is 8.65 and 3/4, down 12 and a quarter. Crude oil was down a couple of bucks today. Right now it's at 84.46, down 59 cents. Heating oil is 3.60 and a quarter, up 4.8 cents. Gasoline is 2.71, up 4.8 cents. Natural gas is 6.06 and a quarter. That's up 31 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys you 137.21 at the border. That's up 83 ticks. The dollar buys you 148.86 yen. That's up 122 ticks. The euro's at 98.65. That's up 5 ticks. The dollar's at 111.94, down 7.5 ticks. Gold's at $16.54, down $2.30. Silver's $19.15. That's up 8 cents. Platinum is bid at $9.40, which would put it down about $14.
Okay. Well, the way it usually works is now that you start out low, you can only head in one direction, right?
You feel that way.
Yeah. Wait till tomorrow. Huh?
Yeah.
Doug, take care. Have a good day. All right. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Jerry Samolsky joins us in a moment.
Ellen's Equipment in McBain, Ithaca, and Beale City knows a complex world sometimes demands a simple solution. Case in point, Workmaster utility tractors from New Holland. They're tough, practical workhorses that give you unmatched comfort with a low cost of ownership. Models from 55 to 75 horsepower give you expanded visibility with comfortable seating for 2. A hitch lift capacity up to 4,000 pounds means you can accomplish more with larger implements. Stop by Ellen's Equipment in McBain, Ithaca, or Beale City today and ask about Workmaster utility tractors.
It's time to think about your pig. You know, the propane tank in your backyard that heats your home? Well, there's no better company to fill your pig than Forward Energy, covering 23 counties. Forward Energy is a family-owned and operated propane supplier that's been fueling area homes, farms, and businesses since 1925. Fill your pig this year. Visit forwardenergy.com to find out about new customer pricing and programs.
Go forward with Forward Energy.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Krajak's House Family Restaurant. If you've got to supply the food for an event coming up, the holidays, they're just around the corner. As a matter of fact, arguably the holidays are kicking off this weekend, with Halloween being on Monday. Well, if you've got to supply the food, here's a number, 989-894-5531. That's Krajak's House Family Restaurant. They'll have the food ready for you to go. So, and then all you got to do is stop by and pick it up. Krajak's House. Also a great place to dine in, too. Eat there or take it out. Krajak's House, corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. Say good morning to Jerry Samalski. Jerry, what's going on today?
Boy, Terry, what beautiful weather over the weekend, and even today, if we can hold this rain off today and tomorrow, it'd be great to get out and get some things done. Over the weekend, we went through and we did some trimming, and a lot of the branches, Terry, are just so low on trees. So a common mistake people make is when they buy a tree and plant it, you've got to be limbing that tree up, a limb at 4 feet high off the ground. 100 years from now, that limb is 4 feet high off the ground. It doesn't raise up. So you've got to continually prune those trees up, and ideally, you should be trimming something no bigger than 2 inches in diameter. And roughly, I'm going to say that's maybe kind of like a baseball bat. After that, you want to have it trimmed before it gets that large. Otherwise, it's a little bit tougher on the tree. You can do it, but you should be paying attention and getting it before that occurs.
Yeah, if the branches knock your hat off when you're around on the riding mower, that's a good sign, right?
That's it, Terry. And if you look around all the biggest trees, the first branch is up 10, 12 feet on big trees. And, you know, just start that when they're young. Don't go too far too fast. Typically you want 2/3 top, 1/3 trunk.
Good advice. Jerry, take care. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
All right. Jerry Samalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville.
Whether your family farm has been passed down through generations or you're just starting out, knowledge and partnership fuel constant growth along the way. As the legacy of your farm strengthens, shared values and a never-ending commitment remain. ACH Seeds is proud to work with you to sustain your continued growth. This partnership, driven by a shared passion that never stops growing, is refined over time and cultivated in common ground.
The beauty of a family farm is that everyone pitches in to get things done. There is nothing like the smell of a sugar beet field during harvest or a meal served off the tailgate of a pickup. This is Jeff Karst, your ACH Seeds representative, with a friendly reminder to keep safety a top priority this harvest season. Please encourage your crews to be cautious with field work and drive safely as they deliver this crop. You've built an impressive legacy, one that is certainly worth protecting. Thank you for your continued business again this year.
Crystal Beet Seed, never stop growing.
Farm Service brought to you by Pete Costello Painting, specializing in all types of painting and hot rubber bin seal. Farmers as well as businesses know that Pete the Painter repairs and paints barns and roofs. Call 989-413-3934 and schedule your job. Pete paints barns, grain bins, houses, as well as Morton buildings. One call does it all. 989-413-3934. Pete Costello Painting. The calendar filling up fast, so schedule your job now. Remember, Pete does free estimates. Along with me, Chuck Servinski from Maple Hill Nursery over in Midland. Chuck, good morning. How are you?
It's in a nice sunny Monday for once.
Oh, it is absolutely gorgeous. And I bet you were pretty busy over the weekend.
Yeah, there was quite a few people out working in the yard, which was nice to see after the wet week we had last week.
And you got a lot of things going on. What's on your mind? What's top of mind awareness today, Chuck?
Well, we need to start thinking about protecting those new trees and shrubs that we planted this coming winter, even though the ground, it's still warm out. You want to make sure, number one, that they go into the winter season, in the fall season, with the soil moist. Moist soils are going to hold more heat than dry soils, and keeping plants well watered going to the winter will result in a lot better root growth towards spring. You're going to want to make sure that you protect them from the sun and the wind, because sometimes the foliage of evergreens will lose moisture that's not replaced while those roots are frozen during the fall and the winter. You can use burlap on them. That's an easy way to protect. You can also use wilt stop, wilt proof, and spray on to seal in moisture. And especially on any thin bark trees that you might have planted, or ornamental trees, you're going to want to take and wrap the bark on those, or at least use a tree guard that will help the sun keep reflected off of those, and keep the bark at a more constant temperature, so you don't get splitting on the bark during the winter.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people did put trees in over the spring and summer because they just couldn't hold off, and they love the trees right now.
Yeah, definitely. But the key is if you just keep watering them through the fall, and those trees are moist or wet when they freeze, you're going to have a real good chance of them making it through the winter. Because if you don't, and the ground is dry and it freezes, it essentially freeze dries the ground, sucks all the moisture out of the roots, and then the tree could wind up dying.
All right. Chuck, you take care. We'll talk to you again soon, all right?
Okay, bye-bye.
You bet. Chuck Zerbinski from Maple Hill Nursery in Midland.
Looking for a career where every day is different? Got a knack for working on farm equipment? We're looking to grow our team. Hudson Inc., your local John Deere dealer, is responsible for keeping farmers of America running. Honest, dependable, and self-reliant mechanical technicians is who we are looking for. Hudson provides continuing education, tool allowances, and benefits. If you're interested in becoming a part of the Hudson team, go online and search Hudson Inc. Careers for more information.
It's time to make sure your crops have access to nitrogen when and where they need it. Let Envita, a nitrogen-fixing biological, be the game changer in your operation and take your ROI to the next level. Backed with proven results, with average 8-bushel yield advantage in corn, Envita fills the nitrogen gap and puts more money in your pocket. As the one source for your seed and biological needs, contact Legend Seeds today at 800-678-3346 or visit legendseeds.net to put Legend to work on your acres.
We mentioned a little bit earlier about the weather and how nice it was. And of course, Chuck talked about it. Jerry talked about it. A lot of folks talking about this ideal weather. This is not unusual for this time of the year, but yes, it doesn't happen all the time. As a matter of fact, a number of folks have mentioned that Halloweens in the past have been anything but nice, especially when mom and dad just sit in the car and then the kids go door to door at Halloween. So we will have some cooler weather to look at as we move into Halloween, but we're not going to have nasty, nasty weather, which is definitely a good thing. Are you upset with your current planter performance? Are you considering buying a new planter but blown away from sticker shock? With Precision Planting's V-Set, V-Drive, and Delta Force, we can retrofit your old planter to outperform any new planter on the market. Then access all your data from planting to harvest easily with Field View. Call PC Ag Solutions today and get your parts ordered, installed, and ready to go for the upcoming growing season. 989-868-4444. PC Ag Solutions. Incidentally, the long-range outlook will take us all the way through the 6th of November is on average temperatures above normal for this time of the year. Back at 12:30 with an update, but now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Steve Kathan. Gunfire at a St. Louis high school. Affiliate KMOX reports 6 people hospitalized, including the shooting suspect. Reporter Kevin Killeen.
One student said that he was in a health class and the shooter shot out the window and then reached in and opened the door and then said to the teacher, quote, "It's time to die." He said the shooter shot the teacher, shot at least one student, and at that point, our eyewitness says he and everybody else was climbing and scampering out the windows.
This is all taking place at the Central Visual and Performing Arts High School in St. Louis. Now to Michigan, where the 16-year-old suspect in a school shooting last year has pleaded guilty to 24 counts that include murder and terrorism. 4 students died in that attack at Oxford High School. Sheriff Michael Bouchard.
I hope he gets life without parole. He has permanently taken lives away from 4 lovely souls and has permanently affected many, many more.
In Minneapolis, former police officer Alexander King pleaded guilty today to aiding and abetting manslaughter in George Floyd's killing. The political intrigue in Britain is over. There's a new prime minister.
Cheered by his supporters at Conservative Party headquarters, but will voters and the markets be reassured by this?
I will make it my utmost priority to bring our party and our country together.
The British pound and British stocks rising on Rishi Sunak's election. Winning over British voters, coping with a massive cost of living crisis, may take longer. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
The nation's report card on school math and reading scores blames the pandemic for sharp drops in nearly every state in math and half the states in reading.
The drop is really pretty extraordinary, unprecedented in the history of tests in this country. And the kids who were the farthest behind struggled the most.
Kevin Huffman heads a tutoring nonprofit.